I may tell you something what's maybe it's interesting for the circumstances. We are all educated, and I was a very, we were living something what's called socialistic realism and so on. And of course, I'm educated on so-called ontology aesthetic. And when I was like you, I was against this using of culture and art in the political purposes. I mean, in explanation, it seems me stupid, you know. And then, as the Yugoslavia has been changed and broken totally, it's interesting now that I'm quoting, for example, Erich Fromm or the philosophers from I was like you know, and coming back to that, what I really was thinking at the time with abstract thinking and ontological aesthetic was against ideology. And now I start to live one ideological world in which you have to dig another opinion, you know, another. It's not enough to be tolerant. It's not enough to be decent. It's not. Somehow in Europe, a scandal becomes something horrifying. My God, but all art and everything and freedom is a scandal. You know, we become somehow, after all these changings in Europe, first, this is extremely Eurocentric, and plus, it is that somehow the person is thrown out, the individual, the citizen, the being, you know, not the parties, organizations, units. Paradoxically, it becomes democracy is arising on some collective consensus, and in this collective consensus, there is no particular moment or particular crazy person. You know, this is a particular crazy piece of art. And that comes through, and I think this activism, this is a bullshit. They want to tell you that you are not professional. And actually, in our part, it becomes from extremely professional people, which actually did not want to participate in the collective society. You know, so this activism doesn't mean anything. It's a substitution for the political. The substitution in art that you may be political, because all become a very aesthetical entertainment, good life, whatever, you know. And yes, and this is actually against the rebellion. And how you can do something serious if you are not rebelled, wherever you are and wherever you are. It's a question of understanding of the freedom, nothing more. And you are completely okay. Always when you feel that you are doing something what is necessary, something what is suitable, something what is like everybody else thinking, something what is
could make an impact.
Yes, could make an impact, something what is useful at last. Let's do something unuseful. Let's do something what doesn't need anybody. Like it's happened in the history, and this is crucial. And you're completely right. You have to do something which feel you well in that, not to listen, and then you are not going to be a slave. Anyhow, you will be the slave of the oppression of the another. So it's not necessary that you do inside of yourself any oppression more. It's a question of, I think it's also a question of character or ideology or something what you love. The politic without love, I mean, without passion, that's nothing. And when you read some things in the history, then at last you feel empathy or inspired by somebody who was crazy, who was in jail, who was a crazy poet, who brought some new theater, who these are your friends. And not, isn't that? And somehow you have a feeling during all this war and all, there is somebody in Sarajevo or whatever, in Armenia, who maybe is thinking on the same phenomenon like you.
Yeah.
And this
Just
is the,
that-
and
just-
this is just that. And they call it activism because of passivism, because they want to pick up something what is not dangerous. If it is political, then it's dangerous. If it's activism, this is something for the neighborhood. But it is not it's not a conscious tendency, you know. It's not something what you make a project of that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, our lives become a project. We have to turn them into life. And this is the whole story. It's a project about the communication or project among the
Evaluation.
and the people, for example, on all that book, for the people who has been friends before and collaborating, and now we have to make a project of our life. This is something tricky in that. And that's the point.